Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, the movie, Scarlet Bond. Now, when it comes to the isekai genre, there are several different franchises that have spawned from it that have become either utterly beloved or utterly detested within the anime sphere. Thankfully, That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime is one of the more beloved isekai series, so it only makes sense that after two successful seasons and a successful spin-off that it would get a feature film. And this one has most of the things that I generally love about the franchise, and a couple of the things that I wish were ironed out a bit. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story follows an ogre named Hiro, or more of an Oni named Hiro, who, after noticing that his entire village has been ransacked and he's left for dead by the forces of Clayman, the main antagonist of Season 2, he's saved by a queen named Toa, who runs the Kingdom of Raja. She has ultimately named him Hiro in order to save his life, and he's out for revenge when it comes to taking down the orcs who are responsible for destroying his village. But when he finds that the orcs who destroyed his village are actually with the ruler of Tempest now, our good friend Rimuru, he decides to help out Rimuru as well as his old Oni buddies who are now his loyal servants, as he asks Rimuru in order to help the Kingdom of Raja and to save the life of Queen Toa, who of course saved his life, so he's indebted to her. So Rimuru and his friends go to the Kingdom of Raja in order to save that city from a poisoned lake and also a mysterious conspiracy. But that's all I'll say about the story. Now, when it comes to That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, it's definitely an anime series that focuses less on the fundamentals of isekai that you'd expect. While there are action scenes and they are extremely well animated by Studio 8-bit, the story is a lot more like a civilization game, where it's all about building nations of different monsters, and Rimuru basically gets to make life better for the various fantastical creatures of his land, and in turn they serve him loyally and praise him at every turn. It really is a very comfy series when it's not balls to the wall action in that respect, and even though while the second season manages to up the stakes a bit and happens to have Rimuru make choices that have real consequences, in this movie, it feels like the choices have less consequences than they do in the actual series. Especially by the end of the film, where it feels like it's not only a cop-out, but a double cop-out at the end that feels like it deflates the stakes entirely. However, when it comes to the other things that the series usually does well, the animation, the action, and the character interactions, they're all top-notch. And I especially mean that with some of the new characters. Hiro generally has a sympathetic backstory, and his connection with Benimaru is generally heartwarming, as they were like brothers in arms, and seeing them fight and seeing them get along in the film has managed to fill me with all the feelings you'd expect it to. And Queen Toa generally feels like a well-done version of a self-sacrificing person who sees herself as a servant to the people who she governs rather than as someone who's utterly above them. And I really like seeing that in fantasy leaders. On top of that, Rimuru, Shuna, Shion, Benimaru, Soe, Hakuro, all of the characters that you remember from the original series, including some of the ancient demons like Diablo, are here and they're as entertaining and well voiced as they are in that series. Even though it does feel like, while some of the visuals are utterly spectacular and definitely there for the big screen, others feel like they feel like limitations that would be done in the original series, less so for a movie, such as still images that tell certain parts of backstories. The stills look nice, but it's not very fun to look at them for upwards of an entire minute when the rest of the film looks so professionally done and looks like some of the best animation that Studio 8-bit has ever given us. And I also should say that the film is not healthy for newcomers. In order to understand most of the film, you're going to need to be aware of the events of the first two seasons of the anime, which is around 48 or so episodes. So yeah, that's a lot to commit to, but trust me, once you get into the series, the episodes fly by real fast. So it's definitely worth it to eventually get to this point. It's not the best adventure that Rimuru and his friends have been in, but I do believe that it's ultimately worth your investment once you manage to get past the lore and when you happen to get through the less than stellar conclusion. So the Scarlet Bond gets a 7 out of 10. See you next time.